The Pittsburgh Steelers are back in action following their Week 5 bye, this time taking on a division foe, the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland comes in as some people might have expected. The season is, I wouldn't say over, it's only Week 6. It's hard to completely bury a team, but they're as about close to over as you can be in Week 6. I mean, whenever you trade your Week 1 starting quarterback to a division rival, it's a pretty good signal of how this season is going and the direction that it's heading in. But I digress to that point. It is the Cleveland Browns. It is the AFC North, so anything can happen. I'm not saying this is going to be a walk in the park for the Steelers. And one of the biggest reasons that it might be a little bit more difficult this week is because of wide receiver 2. Calvin Austin is likely going to miss this game. He injured his shoulder against the Vikings, and whenever that injury happened, it didn't look good. It looked like, okay, he's destined to find a spot on the IR. We're probably not going to see him for 4, maybe longer weeks. Instead, Mike Tomlin on Tuesday left the door open for him to play this week. Now, again, it's not likely to happen because he has not participated in practice at all. So if he's out, which I think we all expect him to be out, that leaves a giant hole in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. He had emerged as the Steelers wide receiver 2 throughout this early portion of the season. He had played well. He had shown that, hey, he's going to get 3+ targets a game, and more often than not, he's going to make them count. He scored big touchdowns in big moments already this season. He's made big blocks like he did in Ireland on that DK Metcalf touchdown. He's been a baller. He's played well. And now without him in the lineup, it leaves an opening for somebody else to step up. That somebody, in my opinion, needs to be Roman Wilson. It just has to be. Mike Tomlin said as much on Tuesday when asked about Calvin Austin's potential of missing this game. This is what Tomlin had to say. Quote, "It's not necessarily about pulling from people that aren't here. It's about the elevation of roles of guys like Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller, for example. I'm excited about watching those guys work and maybe getting some elevated participation." So Mike Tomlin didn't flat out say Roman Wilson or Scotty Miller are going to get those wide receiver 2 reps. He essentially said those are the guys that we're looking at to step up throughout the work week to earn the opportunity to be wide receiver 2 on Sunday. Hopefully, Roman Wilson is able to put together a good week and get those opportunities because it has not been a hot start for the 2024 third round pick. He has 1 reception on 7 yards this season, and that was essentially in garbage time of the Steelers' only loss all the way back in week 2 against the Seattle Seahawks. Not only does he just have 1 reception, you could say, well, maybe he just hasn't been able to get open. No, he's only been on the field for 20% of the Steelers' offensive snaps. Opportunities have not been plentiful for Roman Wilson in what is essentially his rookie season. So now that he has that opportunity, due to the injury of Calvin Austin, he needs to take advantage, if for no other reason than to get himself and earn himself more opportunities as this season progresses. Now, I've seen an interesting conversation happen and take place since that quote from Tomlin on Tuesday surrounding Roman Wilson. A lot of people have asked, whether it be on social media or just people that I've been talking to, is this now or never for Roman Wilson? If he does not step in and step up in week 6, is it about time to just simply say, hey, it's probably not going to happen in Pittsburgh for the Michigan alum? And the answer to that is unequivocally no. Like, no way is it now or never. We're not to that point. It's not do or die on Roman Wilson's career, or at the very least, Roman Wilson's time in Pittsburgh. It's just not there. Like I said a couple minutes ago, it's essentially his rookie season. He played 5 total snaps in the 2024 season before being re-injured and missing the rest of that year. There's a pretty easy case study for what Roman Wilson is going through this year. And his name is Calvin Austin, the guy who he might be getting an opportunity because of this year. Calvin Austin, drafted in 2022, missed that entire season due to an injury. It was essentially a redshirt year. And what did he do in 2023? Did he light the world on fire, which is why he has progressed to this point in year 4 where he is when healthy, the Steelers' bona fide number 2 wide receiver? No, it wasn't an electric factory right out of the gate. If you look at that 2023 season for Calvin Austin, in the first 4 games, he put up half decent numbers. 12 receptions, 143 yards. But let's not forget, over half of those yards came on one play, a 72-yard touchdown reception against the Las Vegas Raiders from Kenny Pickett, where he was wide open and Pickett just put it right on his chest. After that, the rest of 2023, Calvin Austin combined for 5 receptions and 37 yards. So that year in totality wasn't all that great. I would imagine if you look at the bar for Roman Wilson, it's probably similar to what Calvin Austin did in 2023. 100 and quick math here, 180 total yards for Calvin Austin in 2023. That's the initial bar for Roman Wilson in my eyes this year. So no, it's not do or die when the bar is 180 yards and you're only in week 6. It's not do or die for his career, his time in Pittsburgh, or this season for that matter if he doesn't step up. But I will say this, if he takes advantage of the opportunity, if he performs well throughout this week and this weekend, it's going to go a long way in getting him more opportunities as the season goes on. I mean, Mike Tomlin made the comparison right in that answer following the quote I read. Kenny Gainwell. Yeah, Kenny Gainwell was getting a good portion of the snaps going into week 4, but you don't think he's going to get more after what he did, 99 rush yards, over 100 total yards, and a couple touchdowns? Yeah, he got the opportunity. He sees the opportunity, and now he's going to get more as the season goes on. That's what I want to see from Roman Wilson this weekend. He doesn't need to go out there, catch 6 passes for 100 yards and a touchdown. He needs to go out there, and in the opportunities he's given, he needs to do the job. And that's something that he has made his entire career doing. Look back at his time in Michigan. Look at his time in the NFL draft circuit and what Mike Tomlin was putting him through in Mobile, Alabama. If you don't remember this, and hat tip to my buddy Noah Strackbine over at All Steelers Talk and Steelers on SI, because he was dead on with this. Mike Tomlin was calling out Roman Wilson and putting him up against every single cornerback, the best cornerbacks they had to offer at the Senior Bowl. Why? He wanted to put him through the paces to see if he could handle it. He wanted to see him against different levels and different types of cornerbacks. And what did he do? Just enough to get drafted in the 3rd round by Mike Tomlin. So he's still the guy that Mike Tomlin loved in Mobile. He's still the guy that was a national champion. He's still the guy that was an integral part to an offense that was run heavy and tight end heavy in college. So this should be a good fit for him in the Arthur Smith offense. It's not do or die, but again, success this weekend opens the door for more opportunities as the year goes on, and that is exactly what Roman Wilson has been waiting for. I'm hoping he takes advantage of it, especially because success this weekend might open the door, but success this weekend, considering the opponent, anytime you succeed and have big moments against AFC North teams, it just means that much more. Not only to the fan base, because that's obvious, but it feels like it means that much more to Mike Tomlin. He looks for guys who step up in these moments, not just on the Steelers side of things, but he likes guys who step up in these moments on the other side of things. Lest we forget how much he was raving about what he's seen from Patrick Queen when he was a Baltimore Raven in the matchups against the Steelers. It's a big reason why he went out there and paid him all that money to come become the inside linebacker of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So AFC North matches, they elevate the spotlight. They increase the spotlight. And with this opportunity, Roman Wilson needs to step in, step up, and earn himself some more opportunities throughout the rest of the season. Should be an interesting one at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday. Will we see Shedeur Sanders? I don't know. I don't think they would go away from Dillon Gabriel that quickly, but you never know. The Steelers defense played well against Carson Wentz. They have 11 total sacks in their last 2 performances against Drake May and Carson Wentz. So maybe they get after Dillon Gabriel and maybe they force the issue a little bit. But nonetheless, it should be a fun one. Happy to have Steelers football back and happy to be back on here talking to you folks on YouTube. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure that if you like this content, you like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.